Hi! Oh, my bells! Come on in. So, today we're going to make the final recipe for our budget Christmas dinner, which is pan-fried fish in gluten-free beer batter. And it's delicious. I've made this several times now. It's really good. Plus, the batter is gluten-free and it's pan-fried, so it has less fat than deep-fried, but it tastes just as good. So we're going to do that recipe. Then I have some tips for you. So stay for the video and click that like button. And I still can't talk. A video every day is quite a lot, and I think I'm losing my ability to talk properly. Tip number one is we've had a budget meal now. And now today we're doing the fish. This is an inexpensive, healthy meal. Now, if you're living in a very distant part of the world from North America, this may not be a budget meal for you, or the ingredients may not be all available. But at least in North America, this would be a inexpensive, healthy, easy Christmas meal to make. So we had our cranberry sauce, sugar-free, no sugar in there, and no artificial sweeteners, and yet it still tastes good. We had our root vegetable side dish, which can either be a pie topping or a side dish. Yesterday we had our 4 vegetable coleslaw. For the gluten-free beer batter pan-fried fish, you will need 3/4 cup of oat flakes, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, and sunflower seeds. Then you will need 3/4 cup of beer. You can substitute chicken or vegetable stock if you prefer, salt and pepper, and cornstarch, and 1 egg. So take 3/4 cup of oats, and for the remaining 1/4 cup, add the 3 seeds, approximately in equal amounts, to fill up the cup to make 1 cup of oat flakes and the 3 seeds. Then you're going to put them in your blender, and you're going to grind them so that you crush the seeds and the oat flakes. You don't need a really fine powder, but you don't want them to be too rough and lumpy either. So grind for approximately 1 minute or so. Then you're going to put it into your mixing bowl, and you're going to add the other dry ingredients, which would be 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of pepper and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You can add a little bit more if you prefer. It's up to you, but you can always add more after. So I prefer to add not too much salt and pepper into the batter, and people can season their dish more as they eat if they wish. Then you're going to add the cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and then you will stir all of this together and make sure that it's well mixed. Then slowly add your beer or stock, 3/4 cup, and it's fine if the beer is flat. You can let it sit on the counter for a while. Crack your egg, and I like to give it a little stir so that I mix up the egg white and the egg yolk, and then add that in and stir it until it's well blended. Then you want to let this sit for 15 or 20 minutes. So you need to do this in advance of starting to cook the fish. Those were the first 4 tips. Tip number 5, stick with me for more fast, easy, healthy budget meals, because I'm going to keep giving them to you in 2021. And when I have enough, I'm putting out a cookbook. And when I put out my cookbook, I'll let you know. 6, if you're going to eat something that has bones in it over the holidays, keep those bones. Put them in a pot of water and boil them. Even if they're leftover from somebody's steak that somebody else ate, doesn't matter. You're going to cook them for a long time. So if that person has any virus or any kind of bacteria, it's not going to make you sick, because the heat process of cooking is going to kill anything that could make you sick. So any bones, chicken bones, you roast a chicken and you're left with a bunch of bones. You serve steak and you're left with a bunch of bones. Any kind of meat bones, you can boil them all together or you can boil them separately. Keep the broth until you're ready to make soup or gravy or casserole or something like that. I mean, those bones are going to the garbage and the compost anyway, right? So why not get broth out of them beforehand? And it will be nutritious, very nutritious. It's $3 a liter in my area to buy broth, but I can make it for nothing because I've already got the bones and I've already got the water. So why not? So keep those bones. And if you don't have time to make the stock right away, just freeze the bones and then make the stock when you have time or when you have enough. So that's what I do, and it will save you money and it will cut your waste. I have 2 pieces of cod, 340 grams, and I use 2 layers of paper towel underneath and on top, and I touch all the pieces of the fish to get it really dry. I do this 3 times to make sure the fish is totally dry. Then I put cornstarch on the plate, and I will then coat the fish in the cornstarch before I put the fish in the batter. This is how you make the batter much easier to stick to the fish. While you're doing this, your pan should have about a 1/4 cup of oil in it, and it should be heating. It should be very hot. Then dip your fish into the batter, coat on all sides, and put into the pan. Put the fish in the pan. The oil should be very hot, and let them cook for 3 to 4 minutes until you can see browning around the edges. Then turn the fish over. You want to be cooking on medium-high. You will then cook your fish again for 5 to 6 minutes. I use a digital thermometer to measure when the fish is done, because that way I cook it enough so that it's safe, but I don't overcook it. You want the fish to reach 145 Fahrenheit or 63 Celsius. Insert the thermometer at an angle and make sure you don't touch the bottom of the pan. So when your fish reaches that temperature, it's done. And if you want to put the lid on for a couple of minutes to speed up the cooking process, you can do that. So your fish will be ready very soon. Here it is, and it's delicious. How do we have a budget Christmas? Well, do your own tree ornaments. So this is my Christmas tree, and decades ago when I was pregnant with my first child, I made these little tree ornaments. I don't know if you can actually see it. So what it is, it's half a walnut shell. Here's the inside. It used to have flowers in it. They've fallen out. So I painted the, no, it does have flowers in it, but they've faded. You can't really see them anymore. So I painted the outside of the shell. I made a little hole with a little tiny drill bit, and then I glued little tiny dried flowers inside and a piece of string. And I made about 25 of these. I only have about 4 left because I've given them all away. And I can tell you that every single person that I have given one of these handmade nut gifts to absolutely loves them. Another handmade gift I have, which I can't find now, but I know I put it on the tree. So I made these with my kids. All it is pine cones, glue, and glitter. Really simple, but really pretty. My kids had a ball making this with me. Once again, I don't have very many left because when people would come to my house and they'd see this, they'd go, "Oh, they're so pretty, I'd like one," and so I'd give them away. So I only have like 2 left. I don't remember where it was, but that's where it's going to go now. So you can make all kinds of Christmas decorations, either by yourself or with your kids, and you can give them as gifts. People love getting handmade stuff as a gift. So that's another tip. If you're crafty, or you sew, or you knit, make homemade Christmas gifts, especially if they're useful and practical, and they're homemade, and they're pretty. Oh, people will just love them. And those gifts are really meaningful, and the raw materials don't need to cost you very much. So that's your next tip. Another tip is, so my Christmas tree doesn't follow a color scheme. It's not glamorous. I don't buy expensive decorations. In fact, the theme of my tree is, it's a memory tree. So every single decoration on this tree has a memory. For example, we have here photos of the children. So this is my daughter when she was a baby. I'd like to get a better ornament to hold the photo, but for now that's what we've got. So all the kids have their photo on the tree, and most of the grandkids. I'm working on getting the rest of the grandkids on there. I still have a few decorations left from my childhood. When my mother died, I got what was left of her Christmas decorations. I have a few of those left. So they always go on the tree. And then years ago when I was a university student, I got a few decorations on sale. They always go on the tree. And then I just have a few, like this is just a dollar store decoration, but I think it's nice. And then I just have a few decorations that I bought over the years when we'd go to the US and we'd go to these Christmas stores, because we didn't have Christmas stores, at least in my part of Canada at that time. We didn't have Christmas stores. And it was like, oh, wow, this is so amazing. And I'd always buy a Christmas decoration. So I bought this icicle. I don't know if it was Vermont or Delaware, but it was one of the two places in a Christmas store. And I mean, it's totally oddball, but it has good memories of vacations with the family when the kids were little. So I call this my memory tree. Everything on it has a memory. This green chain, that was on our tree when I was a kid as well. You don't need to do a glamorous tree in order to have a nice tree. You don't need to spend a lot of money on Christmas decorations in order to have a nice tree. You can if you want, but you don't need to. So decorate your tree in a way that you can afford and enjoy it and be happy about it. Then there's other kinds of books you can give that aren't expensive as well. Photo albums, make a photo album, print some photos and put them in an album and give it as a present, especially in this day where everything's digital and online. A photo album that you hold and look through the pictures is really precious. Or make a photo book. You can make a photo book just with photographs. You can make a photo calendar. You can even go online and get stories made for your child with their name, or you can make your own. So there's lots of ways that you can give inexpensive gifts at Christmas time. And finally, another tip is, instead of giving gifts to the other adults, give to a charity and tell them, I'm going to give this much money to a charity and that's going to be your Christmas gift. So in our family, what we do is we stopped giving Christmas gifts to everyone a few years ago, and we started doing the everybody brings one present and you do a gift exchange. But after a couple, maybe I think it was 3 years of that, we decided to stop that too. And we decided we're just going to give gifts to the kids, but the adults don't get a gift. Now you can give a gift if you want, but you don't have to. And let me tell you, that has really cut the Christmas budget. And it's a good thing, because, you know, once your kids grow up and then they get married and they start having kids, you started off, you were maybe a husband and wife, or two partners and 2 or 3 kids. That's not so bad, but you might have siblings, you might have parents, but then, you know, as time goes on, the family gets bigger and bigger and the spending gets out of control. And the worst thing you can do to yourself is go into debt because of Christmas or whatever holiday it is. So talk to your family. Maybe you just want to stop giving gifts. The point of Christmas is actually to connect. It's to spend time together. And that's the biggest gift. And that's the only gift you can give. It doesn't cost any money. So those are my 11 tips for you. 11 tips for you. That's right, we're day 11. I hope you liked this video. I hope you like the fish. I hope you like the meal. Let me know what you're eating at Christmas. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me. Click that like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to my channel. Tell YouTube you want more content like this. Click the bell, that way you know when I'm going to upload more videos. And happy holidays, happy Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year when it comes around in a week. Doom, boom, boom. Be happy, put a smile on your face, fill your heart with joy, and have a good, safe holiday. Think of those health workers. Think of everybody around you who could get COVID if you're not careful with the way you handle yourself. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And keep practicing the toolbox. Thanks for watching. Bye.